There's been an uptick in violence and suspected hate crimes against Muslim Americans and supporters of Palestine. Since October 7th, the ugliness has only been increasing. A 6-year-old Muslim boy was stabbed 26 times in Illinois. Across the nation, peaceful pro-Palestine marches have reportedly been met with hostility and violence. In Cleveland, a Palestinian-American man was hit by a car. The driver allegedly yelled, "Kill all Palestinians and long live Israel." Harvard students were doxxed for condemning Israel in a letter, with their personal information having been splashed across multiple websites. And social media platforms have been under fire for shadow banning users from posting about Palestine, suppressing Palestinian voices, and even labeling some users as terrorists. So why is this happening? We spoke with William Yeomans, a professor at George Washington University, for some insight.
Even in this country, we see a constant attack on Palestinian American free speech, not just Palestinian Americans, but anyone who's supportive of the Palestinian position. We see college students losing job offers. We see state laws being passed to make it impossible for people to support boycott, divestment, and sanctions, despite this being a nonviolent source of resistance.
Yeomans, who is Palestinian American, researches international communication with a focus on U.S.-Arab relations. He's been attending demonstrations in support of Palestine since he was a kid.
So to be Palestinian means to be displaced. It means to be in exile. It means to basically witness the homeland from far away. Every Palestinian American is a student of history, not by choice, but by family folklore, by self-identity, by coming to realize who they are.
The Council on American-Islamic Relations noted at least 15 hateful incidents and threats that have happened across the country since October 7th. And those are just the tip of the iceberg. The Department of Homeland Security warns there could be more that have gone unreported. Muslim Congress members are seeing a spike in death threats as well. Minnesota Representative Ilhan Omar told NBC News that one of the many voicemails she's received threatened, "I hope the Israelis kill every one of you." The American Arab Anti-Discrimination Committee has been flooded with reports of FBI visits to mosques and individuals, echoing the post-9/11 era when thousands of Arab and Muslim men faced interrogations.
Who really makes me worried are the partisans, the people who are ideologically committed to Israel. These are the people behind most of these physical attacks, so I'm not sure that they're going to go away. In many ways, what they reveal to me is a degree of desperation, where you see your narrative kind of being challenged in ways that you cannot counter.
This skewed narrative has deep roots.
Historically, Israel has not been a credible source of information for conflicts that it's involved in. We've seen this time and time again. In 1996, when Israel shelled a refugee camp that was run by the UN, killing over 160 people in Qana, Lebanon, Israel denied it was responsible. We saw with the murder of the Al Jazeera journalist Shireen Abu Akleh, which caused an international outrage. She was killed by a sniper. Israel denied that it was responsible.
Despite the questionable credibility, Western media continues to rely on Israeli sources. In fact, a 2019 study that examined 50 years' worth of headlines from major U.S. newspapers found they were 2.5 times more likely to cite Israeli sources than Palestinian ones. And it's not just about narratives. It's also about harmful rhetoric. An October 16th tweet from Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's official account stated, "This is the struggle between the children of light and the children of darkness, between humanity and the law of the jungle." That tweet was later deleted. On October 9th, Israel's defense minister ordered a complete siege on Gaza by saying this. This sort of rhetoric has found its way into interviews with Palestinians and Palestine supporters on major news networks.
I'm going to be even ahead of you because I see the question coming. Do you condemn Hamas for the atrocities? Yes, I condemn Hamas.
If you want me to renounce Hamas because they're anti-woman, anti-everything, then I'm also going to sit and renounce Israel, which is also anti-Roman, anti-free speech, anti-gay, anti-everything.
The interview host would often ask them about condemning terrorism and then interrupting them constantly to make sure that they condemned Hamas, which is a vicious rhetorical move that forecloses the possibility of a conversation. Unfortunately, in the United States, we don't have a robust debate on Israel policy, in part because politicians are completely aligned on this issue. And the clear explanation for that has to do with the power of the Israeli lobby, which is a well-organized, well-established set of organizations that have been around for more than 50 years.
The reality in Israel and Gaza is being reported on based off a mess of inconsistent accounts. Even President Joe Biden had to walk back claims about alleged Hamas atrocities.
Newspapers throughout the world picked it up uncritically. It was a perfect example of how misinformation can come from the top in a way that can powerfully shape public opinion.
Yet there is some hope as activists challenge the status quo and fight back against dangerously persistent rhetoric.
Social media has more often been offering correctives to mainstream media than mainstream media has been offering correctives to social media. But I find Gen Z far more informed about the world than my generation was, and certainly the generation before me. We've seen a dynamic protest movement emerge, led by groups like the Palestinian Youth Movement, by Jewish Voices for Peace, by If Not Now, by a whole range of organizations. And I would encourage anyone who cares about this, about bringing peace, about bringing justice for the Palestinians, bringing a resolution to this conflict now, should be joining these kinds of organizations. Being active means being part of a community, of having places to go, of having people who you're working closely with together towards a common cause. So it's not just enough to speak on social media. You have to get out and do things. And that will break the feeling of isolation or demoralization. It's important to remember that we can be empowered and that we can speak back and we can force those empowered to hear us. And eventually they will have to answer to these voices.
Yeomans is also shedding light on the past by producing a documentary about the unsolved 1985 assassination of Alex Ouda, a Palestinian-American activist in Orange County, California.
People should care about the murder of Alex Ouda, even though it was 40 years ago, because it's connected to the spread of a hateful ideology that's poisoned the Israeli political scene. This is an ideology of hatred that calls for the mass transfer of Palestinians from their homes in the West Bank, Jerusalem, and Gaza. And unfortunately, I think we're seeing this ideology at work in the massive bombardment of Gaza today.